Hello there, I'm Gloria Makarenko, and this weekend we are celebrating Pride. This is Our Vancouver. Coming up, a firstborn Canadian son's story about his immigrant father through love, courage, and tears. And a world-renowned Vancouver chef shows us how a dollop of love and a pinch of passion goes into his advocacy for ocean-friendly meals. But first, take pride in your city. A local trans activist tells us about her real-life dream come true in Canada. Well, Vancouver comes alive this weekend with dozens of Pride events right across the city. So this is a time to celebrate the things that we have in common and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. And it's also time to highlight some of the people who are making a positive impact in the LGBTQ community. For example, Norma Lize. Norma is a CBC Proud to Shine nominee for her work as a trans activist and LGBTQ advocate. Norma, hello there. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, let's talk about that advocacy. Where'd you like to start?
Well, it all started back in the Middle East. I was born and raised there, and my involvement started back in 2012. It was mainly focused on migrant workers' advocacy, and then it shifted to women's rights. Until in 2015, it was a full-time commitment for me just to advocate for the LGBT community and for myself, because I'm part of the LGBT community.
Okay, let's talk about that move then from the Middle East to Canada. What prompted that?
My visibility, I couldn't be in the Middle East anymore because of my visibility, and I had to escape. So I came here, I moved here, and I sought asylum here. I'm a refugee in Vancouver. And in 2018, when I landed, I knew nobody, just one person, my friend, and he was supporting me a lot. He introduced me to his chosen family and his group of friends. And then I went to Rainbow Refugee. Rainbow Refugee is a local organization in Vancouver. And from a member to a volunteer, now I'm a full-time staff with them. And Rainbow Refugee is a community-based organization with a mission to promote equitable migration and communities of belonging for anyone who's fleeing sexual orientation, gender identity, and HIV status persecution.
Well, I'm sorry that you've had that experience. You know, one thing is immigrating to Canada, another thing is fleeing your country in fear, where you're just feeling like this is not a place for me. I'm sorry you've had that. So let's talk about the importance then of being able now to help others who may come from similar situations.
It's very rewarding. This is the least I can say. Working with Rainbow Refugee and being involved in the community gave me a lot of hope that the future is going to be better. A lot of things are going to change in the future as long as we have members from the community working for the community. And I always feel whenever we welcome a newcomer to Vancouver, it reminds me of the day when I landed here and all the feelings that I had when I landed here, and it is extremely rewarding.
So share some of those feelings. What, the fear, the curiosity, anxiety, what?
A mix of everything, to be honest with you. But the main feeling is joy, pure joy. Because for you to be able to be part of someone else's journey, and journey, not just their life journey, but their journey to be themselves, to be who they were born to be. It's all about you being yourself, and we don't say that we help, we don't say that we bring someone, we don't say that we support, we only say that we are here to support you in your journey. We are not here to save you. You are saving yourself by reaching out to us and coming to Canada.
I love it. You know, you have received already many awards of recognition for your advocacy work. How does that feel? What does that mean to you?
I feel seen and heard. I feel that all the awards that we receive, it's just a way of saying thank you for your work. Thank you for all that you're doing for us. And it feels good. I'm not gonna lie, it feels good to receive an award here and there, but it's not the main goal. The main goal is just to work for the community.
Right. Are you feeling like you're living your authentic self here
100%.
Now in Vancouver? 100%.
100%.
So, which leads us really nicely into Pride weekend as well. What does this mean for you?
It means joy, love, My first time when I participated in the Pride Parade in Vancouver in 2019, it was extremely interesting to see people that I don't know and probably I will never see again, just gathering around and sharing love and sharing appreciation. You feel seen, you feel loved, that's for sure, yeah.
Okay, and what are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Enjoying time with my friends. Rainbow Refugee will be walking at the Dyke March. We're the Grand Marshal at the Dyke March on Saturday. And on Sunday is the Pride Parade. So all the festivity and the colors and the fun that everyone will be having. So yeah, I'm excited.
And some heat.
Yes.
The heat, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
It's going to be a whole lot of heat. So stay cool. And Norma, thank you so much for coming and happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, you're watching now Vancouver.
Okay, it's time for one of our favorite features. This is where we get to feature some of the photographs that are sent in by you. Yvonne Hillsden sent in this one from a ranch in the Cherry Creek area. What a serene moment. Lovely. One of our regular photo contributors, Richard Topping, sent us another beauty. Look at this, a close-up of a bald eagle, just staring right into the lens there. And finally, Victoria Giovanizzo Berg captured the Aurora Borealis over the hills west of Kamloops. Simply stunning green skies. Victoria, thank you so much. And do send us more if you're out and about with your camera over the summer. Send your favorite shots to us at bcphotos@cbc.ca. That's bcphotos@cbc.ca. Now, coming up, if you enjoyed a hot shower this morning, you might have a steam power plant to thank. Our Johanna Wagstaff checks out the small Vancouver facility with a big carbon footprint and how they're planning to change that.
I'm here in downtown Vancouver beside our very own steam power plant. That's right, your hot water this morning may have come to you via this building, and it's about to go through a major green overhaul. Let's check it out. For decades, this power plant has been quietly supplying heat to over 215 customers, including St. Paul's Hospital, commercial and residential buildings in the downtown core.
Even the clock in Gastown? Yes.
That makes sense. The steam clock,
well.
yeah. We're here to find out what this means for our city's carbon footprint now and into the future. The Creative Energy Steam Plant is one of North America's largest district energy systems. The idea is that cities have one big centralized boiler that then carries that heat through a network of pipes, efficiently heating buildings using less energy than if each building had their own boiler. The concept has been around for centuries, dating back to the Romans, and 15 kilometers of pipeline has been heating downtown Vancouver customers since the 60s. This is like right out of, like a 1960s power plant.
These are old pneumatic controls. Basically, they've been abandoned, and we've now obviously upgraded to a computer base. This was state of the art back then.
So this is command central, basically.
Exactly, yes. So the old pneumatic controls, that's only for one or two boilers. The other 5 boilers are basically controlled from, it's called our Delta V system.
The 6 boilers in Vancouver generate steam at high pressure and high temperature. Pipes then carry that to heat radiators, underfloor heating, and domestic hot water. Your hot shower in the morning. This has been incredibly efficient for high-density regions like Vancouver for years. Efficient, but not necessarily green.
That's the main fuel that comes into the plant.
This yellow pipe?
Yes, that's all natural gas. That's our main source of fuel.
Creative Energy's natural gas-powered boilers are the single largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in Vancouver. That's why there are major plans to convert to a lower carbon fuel and, most importantly, have electric boilers do most of the work.
Completely renovating this plant, basically building a brand new plant. We are adding phased manner electric boilers and drawing power from BC Hydro's substation here in Murin Substation.
First, the old boilers will be replaced with high-efficient boilers. This means no heat escapes and is wasted, but it's still a process that relies on fossil fuel. The ultimate goal is to go electric, with only the natural gas boilers as backup.
And the full rollout will be by 2028, 2029. So when we complete the whole thing, roughly 60 to 70% of the operations will be completely decarbonized, which kind of eliminates about 60 to 70,000 tons of carbon from downtown Vancouver.
That would be a massive reduction to the current carbon footprint of the downtown core. Creative Energy currently has this proposal before the BC Utilities Commission and has similar plans for Horseshoe Bay, Toronto, and Seattle. Johanna Wagstaff, CBC News, Vancouver.
Hi, my name is Joel.
Hi, my name is Nancy.
And you're watching
Our Vancouver.
Johanna, thank you very much. You are watching Our Vancouver, and I'm Gloria Makarenko. Well, our guest today has been the top chef at some of Vancouver's best-known restaurants, like Sea Restaurant, Rain City Grill, and New. And he helped usher in the seafood sustainability movement here on the West Coast. And these days, Chef Robert Clark says he's slowing things down a little bit with his new role.
Quite a bit.
Robert, welcome back to Our Vancouver. So great to have you here in studio with us. Tell me about your new role.
Well, I'm fortunate enough, I've now joined Organic Ocean, which was started by a couple of fishermen, my salmon fishermen, years and years and years ago when my beard was still red. And they've built this company, you know, it's a B Corp, we give 1% back. Like it's so community and sustainably orientated that I'm thrilled that they've allowed me to join them because, I mean, I retired from cooking 10 years ago now, and that was always a platform because really, cooking is what I did, but what I really do, or what I really am, is an advocate for increasing the knowledge and the access of sustainable seafood to Canadians.
Yeah, why is that important to you?
It should be important to us all.
Well, of course it should.
Well, it's something that I think, or how I can contribute. Living on the West Coast, my knowledge of seafood, my work with all the NGOs that are sustainably seafood orientated, it's almost my obligation to give back in that way.
And what should we as consumers be thinking about when we're going to the fish counter, when we're going to a restaurant to order fish or seafood?
I would always ask, where was it caught, how was it caught, when was it caught? And there's a good chance that the people you're asking are not going to know the answers to those questions, but it's going to make them think. And if enough people are asking those questions, they're going to get the answers. And when they get the answers, then they're going to start to understand how seafood is distributed, and it's going to elevate the quality and increase sustainability.
You know, there have been some alarm bells ringing about the state of our oceans and declining seafood stocks and that kind of thing. What kinds of signs are you seeing about the health of our oceans right now?
Make no mistake, our oceans need help. They're severely depleted and disrespected with plastics and garbage and on those types of things. But I'm optimistic, and there's so many people working and working towards cleaning it up. I mean, this year we're having record salmon runs. I mean, last year we're talking about let's give up on BC salmon, and this year, you know,
what's going on? Why?
Well, no, Barkley Sound, 500,000 more than they anticipated. The Skeena is opening up. They're fishing the Skeena. The Fraser River is going to be huge, so huge, and fishermen are pretty pessimistic. So huge, I know fishermen that aren't even going up north to fish spring because they feel confident that there's going to be huge numbers down here in the Fraser. So that's very exciting, very, very exciting for me.
That makes me very happy as well, coming from the North Coast myself. And let's talk salmon. You were talking about return of salmon stocks. Where do you want to start today?
Well, today we're using Gitnao sockeye, actually, from the NAS.
Beautiful.
And all I've done is, this is so simple, easy barbecue. You get yourself a cedar board.
Do you soak it first?
Soak it for 2 hours.
Okay.
We'll make a little marinade. I'm going to show you how to easy. The recipe probably is somewhere on some website somewhere. Or, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, about a quarter of a cup of soy, about a quarter of a cup of ginger. And this is a great way to mix things up. A tablespoon of minced garlic. Oh. Tablespoon of sesame seed oil and honey. I mix the things together, otherwise I would have been here all
Again,
afternoon.
you're touching all of those flavor notes as well. The sweet, the salty, the sour, and a little bit of acid in there as well. I love this. I love the pre-measuring too. Thank you.
Just shake it. Don't get it on yourself.
I
And then
trust
we're
it. It's a good seal.
We're just going to drizzle it over there, and then if I could get you to zest a little bit of orange zest on there, or lemon, whatever you want.
First the marinade and
Yeah.
then the zest, okay?
We're all over. Beautiful. And we're going to let this sit for about an hour.
So when we talk about ocean organic then, what are we getting at?
Organic Ocean.
Yeah.
Well, it's a sustainable seafood company why I'm excited to be with them, because it gives me an opportunity to increase the awareness of sustainable seafood, say in Ontario, because we distribute direct to consumer right across the country.
Okay.
Up to Quebec. But they work with First Nations. They work with, for instance, we're working with Ocean Regenerative, which is like a seaweed company.
Am I still going with the
Oh,
zest?
that's beautiful.
Okay,
That's
okay,
beautiful. We're going to leave
okay.
that for an hour.
Okay. Well,
And
for an
then it
hour,
turns into
tick,
this.
tick, tick,
Tick,
tick,
tick,
tick.
tick.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the magic.
Yeah.
So then we put this aside to marinade,
Yeah,
and then
put it in your fridge.
Close your eyes. Voila, voila, voila. So this is what it all looks like with zest on. Okay.
It's pretty
That's going to
straight.
sit there.
Very straightforward. Then you throw it on a board like this.
Oh, look at that.
And then you throw it. And this is the beautiful thing about this.
Okay.
You see how fast that
Before
was?
and after. Let's just get a look at that, okay?
That.
Yes.
You throw it on your barbecue, 500, 550 degrees, 7 to 9 minutes, depending on the thickness of the fish. You're going to have smoke. You're going to have flame. It's going to be fantastic. Do not freak out. 7 to 9
magic.
minutes. You want the wood to burn to infuse some smoke into it.
Okay.
And that's it. You take it off, and you're ready to eat. I mean, make yourself some salads, an easy salad. Again, I've used seaweed. I mean, seaweed is such a powerful tool to help clean the oceans, to help maintain the health of the oceans, carbon capture. I mean, it's endless what seaweed can do. BC's coastline is very conducive to growing seaweed. We have hundreds of species here.
Yes.
And there's a lot of time, money, and effort going into determining what we should be farming, what we should be harvesting wild. And that excites me, because the more seaweed we plant, the more carbon is captured.
Right.
And that's just one small
Kind of
tool
the
to
ocean's
help
natural
us,
filter
to help us,
kind
yeah,
of thing in terms of.
exactly.
So what are you putting in
Very
here?
healthy salad. We got cabbage, kale, carrots, and some seaweed. This seaweed is mackerel kelp. It's one of
Okay.
my favorite ones that I'm.
Can I take a little bite of it?
Yeah,
The
please.
help. So this is from
Yeah.
the BC coast.
Yeah, this is from, I would suspect, I might be wrong, but I suspect this is from near Bamfield, because I think Dr. Louis Droll, this is his product.
Yes.
Like he's the godfather of seaweed.
It's delicious. It tastes like the ocean.
And this
doesn't
is
it?
just like this. So you put it in the oven, it crisps up, and it's wonderful. Seaweed.
Love
Now,
it.
for anybody that's intimidated by seaweed, I know Nori's kind of the introduction to seaweed to into our family's meals.
It's got a lot of nutrients too. I mean, it's good for you.
It's so healthy, and it doesn't really add flavor to this salad or to this. It enhances the flavor, and that's the umami, and that's the power
Yeah.
of seaweed.
Okay.
So if we mix this up now,
What are you putting on there?
oh, it's just a little bit of apple cider vinegar
Nice. Okay.
and a little bit of.
It's like a slaw. There's a
it's
little
a
bit
slaw.
of a slaw. Okay.
It's a slaw, and it's like there's no oil or anything
What's
in
that?
this.
What's that one?
Nok jam.
Oh, jam.
Cham.
Cham. What's
Nok
not?
jam.
What's that?
Vietnamese.
Oh, can I see?
Yeah, please,
gonna,
Ty.
okay, I get to toss.
This is done by.
I can toss. I'm feeling
Our
like
friend Thompson.
I like it how you have everything pre-measured. There, I only lost a few pieces of slaw out there.
So that's straightforward. So now,
That's
in this
gorgeous.
case, when you taste it, it's going to taste. It's going to taste good, but the seaweed hasn't had time to work. If you
Yes.
make the salad a couple hours
Again,
ahead,
let it soak a little bit.
then
Let
the
it
seaweed
work
will
its
bring out the flavor of the carrot, the
magic.
kale, and the
Okay.
cabbage.
Well, you
No,
could make it the same time as you're marinating the.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead. You want to
Exactly.
finish
No,
up?
no,
Okay,
no,
that's
you're
all-
doing great. You're doing great.
Put your-
Let's see how much I can get on the floor.
That's awesome. I want
But
to
this-
taste something here. What's this? Is this the finished product?
Nope, this is the finished product here.
That's
This is
the-
actually just a segue. I mean, this is easy. This is even easier. This
Okay.
is like Organic Ocean.
Grab that.
Okay.
What have you brought in?
Well, this is what we do at Organic Ocean.
Yep.
We have these unique butters.
Yes.
3 different flavors, and we have it on salmon or halibut. But I mean, you pop this again. How this is on the grill for 7 to 9 minutes.
Right.
You throw this puppy on for 6, 7
Right,
minutes.
because that's going to burn right through.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
burn
it's
right
much
through.
thinner.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
and
Bite size.
It's ready to go. Like all you do is take it out of your freezer, pop a hole in it, put it in your fridge overnight. Next day you take it out of the packaging and throw it on your barbecue, and you've got healthy, nutritious, wild, sustainable
I love all those
BC
things.
seafood.
Robert, if I'm going to have a bite of something, what do you suggest?
Well, I think
Oh,
you
a little
should
bit.
try this.
Okay. Oh, I see you've spread the
seaweed, yeah,
right on
yeah.
top, and that flavor is going to have soaked in as well.
Yep, normally, there you go. Normally I chop it up Well, I just did this just to, I don't know, because I was coming to see you and I wanted to be a bit more
I'm so glad you did come. Do come back, okay?
I will.
Fresh, gorgeous BC salmon. Let's go. Thank you, Robert.
My pleasure.
Vodka, iced tea, and a pretty bag of weed. Yeah, let's roll.
If you would like to go and see some live music, Juno-nominated singer-songwriter Ruby Waters plays the Burnaby Blues and Roots Festival, August 6th. Also playing at the festival is the funky brass beats orchestra, Balkan Schmalken. What a great blend of Eastern European sounds with pop and jazz beats.
Hey, I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music, here with a pretty amazing piece of new music from a member of the Clichon Nation of the Northwest Territories. This artist goes by the name of Digga Wolf. Digga the man, Digga Wolf the band. Before I get to the new single sung in Digga Wolf's endangered native language, here is Digga Wolf from a few years back.
My hands to the stars above. Lift my hands to those in love. Lift my hands cause I want you. Cause I know it's all about you. Hine-ho, hine-ha. Hine-ho, hine-ha. Hine-ho, hine-ha. Hine-ho, hit me high.
That's Digga Wolf with the tune High Arctic from 2020, with a sound that has been described on Bandcamp as Indigenous garage rock. Digga Wolf is from the Beachcombers community, about 100 kilometers northwest of Yellowknife, and he's been creating original music from the north for over 20 years.
You're beautiful. Your spirit and mine. My heart wants to be close to you. A secret place no one can find. Prophecies come true. There's earthquakes and lightning, still be loving you.
An amazing song there from Digga Wolf from the Northwest Territories. That was Yellowstone from his Juno-nominated album of the same name. This year, Digga Wolf is returning with an upcoming album sung in his native Clichon language, which is one of 9 official languages in the Northwest Territories. According to Statistics Canada, fewer than 2,000 people can speak Clichon fluently, so it's artists like Digga Wolf who are keeping it alive and raising awareness in beautiful songs like this. A kind of far north combination of Leonard Cohen and Nick Cave there. That is Digga Wolf from Beachcombers, Northwest Territories, on that new song called Seguinha Dante, which in Clichon means friend, how are you? The song is about running into an old childhood pal now living on the streets. It's from Digga Wolf's upcoming new album, his first in his mother tongue in 10 years. And that haunting tune by Digga Wolf is a song that you need to add to your playlist for this week. I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music. I'll check in with you again soon.
Coming up, a firstborn Canadian son recreates stories from his Indian father's life to bridge the cultural gap between them.
Nobody ever pays attention to me.
Welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, a new CBC Absolutely Canadian documentary captures the emotional aftermath of a family's tragedy and their yearning for love and connection. This is For My Father.
When I was growing up, you hear people, oh, they're going on a plane, right? We used to think of, they're living up on the sky somewhere, right? You don't know if this is another land. You think, oh my God, they take the airplane, they must be up there somewhere.
You proud of your life, Dad?
Aren't you?
I was actually surprised when my dad asked me if I was proud of his life. Not because of the question itself, but because I didn't have an answer for him. How could I be proud of a life that I knew nothing about? Let me quickly summarize what I do know about my dad. He hates stuff.
So much garbage.
He sleeps all the time. And every now and then, he likes to remind me that his favorite son is actually
Your brother.
And whenever I did ask him about his life back in India where he came from, he would just say,
Hot.
That's it. And I basically spent my entire life in freezing cold ice rinks in Canada. Because I was born here. I was raised completely Canadian. I played hockey as a kid. I was one of the only Punjabi students in my whole school. And now I work in Vancouver in film and television. I am the first person in my entire family to be any of those things. I am living a life that my father could never have dreamed of. But that means he's lived a life that I can never relate to. So maybe this cultural gap between us was inevitable, but we just didn't need to worry about it when my mom was around. But now it's just me and my dad left in this house by ourselves. And I don't think I can move forward in my life if my father is still a stranger to me. So I'm gonna learn everything about my dad's life by doing the only thing I know how to do. Make a movie about him. And he's absolutely thrilled that I'm doing this.
I was born in a small village named Mahal in Punjab, India.
Growing up in a farming village then, what were your average days like?
We used to brush, but not with a brush. They used to use some sort of take the branch of the tree.
Wait, what?
And that's how in India, that's the best thing actually you can do. And you brush with the little stick.
With a tree branch?
Tree branch, and yeah, there's certain trees, yeah.
This is crazy to me, Dad.
Well, that's India for you. The day was August 13, 1977. Can you believe that?
August 13, 1977, baby.
Yep.
What was it like when you first saw Vancouver?
Vancouver was awful. I hated it here. It rained all the time. It was cold. Then I'm thinking, why I'm here? Why I came, right? I wanted to go to college here, but it was too expensive. And I couldn't work under my tourist visa, and that was about to expire. If I did, I would have to go back to India to be another farmer.
Oh man, so what did you do?
I only had one option left.
As I was listening to all my dad's stories, I realized I couldn't imagine walking in his shoes. Unless I did. Let's go meet Mom. That's when you knew she was the one. Right, Pops?
What the hell is this? Give me the jacket. I came up here and I was only 21 that time, and they were all sitting here staring at me. So I said, Sat Sri Akal to every one of them. Then I sat on this chair like a showpiece, and that was it.
Wait, you didn't talk to Mom?
No,
Did Mom talk to you?
no,
Did anybody talk to anybody?
not really.
What a romantic story.
Oh, you don't like my story?
Well, I mean, I don't like it. It's just, it could have been a little more romantic.
Yeah, but I told you exactly what had happened.
All right, that's fair. You're right. We're making a documentary.
Why your mustache is fake then?
Thanks, Pops. Cut there. I'm done with this.
And my hair was wavy.
Okay, I got it. You're a beautiful, beautiful man.
Very natural.
Watch the full documentary For My Father on CBC Gem starting August 5th and on CBC Television August 6th.
You're watching Our Vancouver.
A little dirt never hurt when it comes to community gardens and using the land around us. Now, a group of urban farmers are transforming private properties into shared crops. Duncan Chambers and Liana Glass own and run City Beat Farms, and I had a chance to speak with the pair on our afternoon radio show on the coast.
Next year we have the strongest drawing. We're a small-scale urban farm. We grow everything ecologically, so we're not certified organic, but we're no spray. We try to grow things in a way that's good for human and soil health. And how it works is that we grow on 13 residential front and backyards in the city of Vancouver. Most of them are in Riley Park neighborhood, and then we have one much bigger yard out in Southlands. And like you said as well, it's a CSA farm, so people pay for their shares up front at the beginning of the season, and then they come and pick them up from us at the Federal Store on Tuesdays, which is at the corner of 10th and Quebec.
What a great model. So, Duncan, how did you and Liana get involved in this in the first place?
This farm went up for sale in November 2019, so we didn't start the business. We're actually the third set of owners. And we were finishing at UBC studying landscape architecture and urban planning, and didn't want to be in an office. And once that was finished, we thought we could take a leap. I started farming in Hamilton in 2015, urban farming as well. It's a little longer growing season, which is nice. A little more rain, especially this year, and maybe not as hot for tomatoes, but we still got tomatoes.
It's a beautiful lettuce. A lot of leafy greens, kale, salad mix, head lettuces, and then a lot of fruiting crops. So Duncan mentioned tomatoes, and we have eggplants, and we have peppers, and then a lot of root vegetables, carrots, beets, of course. And then we have strawberries, and we're trying to grow melons. They're looking a little touch and go. And then we do cut flowers for bouquets as well.
Oh, it sounds lovely. So do people just get what they get, Duncan? I mean, do they get to choose, pick and choose a little bit, or you just, here's what you get for the week?
Often it's whatever's in season. And there's a couple choices because we're making 87 shares. Sometimes we have 43 of something and 44 of the other. And it'll be a little bit of choice, so you can kind of customize your own share.
So it's $600 for this season, and we're aiming for a $30 value a week spread over, so that would be 20 weeks. Last year, our average tended to be a little bit over 30, so we finished it after 19 weeks, but that's kind of what we go for. Once someone pulled up a garlic, I think it was just out of curiosity. They wanted to know what it was.
What's at the other end of this
stalk?
stalk?
When we walked by that yard the next time, it was just laid gently on the ground, so it wasn't out of malice. We do have some issues sometimes with our equipment. We've lost a tarp or two, and we have a refrigerated trailer that is our processing and storage station, and it's been broken into a couple of times, but nothing big has been taken, and way less than people would think.
I think small farms like this do a lot for getting vegetables to people right when they're ready, so they're not sitting on a grocery store shelf. They don't have to be refrigerated for very long. They're harvested at most 2 days before people pick them up, so there's very little food waste. And it's about 6 of us, not even full days, just 4 of us, 4 employees. And we're growing food for probably 250 people or so, and that's all their vegetable needs from June to October. So if we had many more small farms like this, you can just multiply those numbers. It would only take 4 people to feed 200.
Wow. Coming up, a young entrepreneur shares her experience of building an independent fashion company using just reworked materials and fast fashion. Hello and welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, a young Vancouver fashion designer is breathing life back into fast fashion's dead stock. Casey Lamb started off creating her one-of-a-kind designs using reworked materials more than 5 years ago, and she has never looked back.
This is like all I used to do, was like sew in front of people. My friends would always just come here after, because it was like the only time I'd hang out, sit here while I sewed. That was like when I was on my grind. I was in school full time, working at Starbucks, and I would come home at like 7 o'clock and sew until midnight. It was wild. I don't recommend. Hi, I'm Casey Lamb. I'm a self-taught fashion designer from the Lower Mainland. I've been doing it for about 5, almost 6 years now, and I'm 24 years old. So I started making clothes through I was screen printing a shirt for my friend for her birthday. I posted a photo of it and I was like, oh, this is a shirt I made for my friend. Well, who wants one? And then I think I just kept getting more and more creative with it. I've always tried to find things at thrift stores. That's always where I would kind of get my inspiration. What can I make out of nothing? So I made collections out of reworked belts or knives. What's just driven the whole thing is just my passion for art and creating. I feel I've always been such a hands-on person, whether it's me painting something or drawing. That was something I really did in high school. I think K-Slam in general has really just been a journey of just understanding myself and understanding what I want out of running a business, and really just trusting my heart. So something that's sustainable, but also reflects who I am as a person with each interaction. And it's always just been something for me that's been about love. I think the sustainability aspect begins and starts with me. I'm one person making my clothes. Using dead stock fabric is a good way to utilize materials that would otherwise end up in a landfill or overseas somewhere. Usually the offcuts of rolls of fabric that they just can't sell. So these are just all my sketches I've done for celebrities and stuff over the years. So this was a outfit I made for a performance. These are for her backup dancers. I was gonna make an outfit for BB Rexa, outfit I made for Carly Rae Jepsen. This is from when I first started getting in the local newspaper or whatever. This is from Vancouver Fashion Week. Anything I did, so getting in a magazine or doing stuff either with celebrities or influencers, things like that. They were cool and they were ego fulfillments of me being oh, I've made it or whatever, but I think in they didn't really do anything. I feel in any instance like that, you just assume that you're gonna get tagged and it's gonna keep going, that you're gonna get 1 million followers and everyone's be placing orders and whatever. I think all of that stuff works, having an influencer and a publicist. If I had just fabric in bulk and was sending it to someone else to make the clothing, or had a manufacturer or something like that, I think then obviously there's more of that possibility. But I think what's happened is because I'm making everything, it would kill me. It's just so exhausting. You need to do photo shoots this way, you need to plan your collections this way, you need to have a brand identity, you need to do all these. I think for me it's just become more about me just figuring it out on my own and kind of following more so what I believe rather than listening to someone else. I'm strongest when I'm just sewing and creating. I think first and foremost I'm an artist, making garments and coming up with new designs, and then I've found that getting my stuff in stores is the best way that I'm benefiting. Social media is just so saturated in general. It just creates a level of disconnect, whereas when you see something in person, it's more tangible for the average person. People I know will go there, but then also new people will go and see my stuff and be oh my gosh, your stuff's in this store, I saw it today, whatever. That's such a cool, unique experience that I don't think translates the same over it would in social media and stuff. I feel I don't have any regrets about anything or wouldn't really change anything, because I feel it's just continues to move me forward, and I think as my business grows I'm also growing.
One of the CBC's most iconic television series turns 50 this year. The Beachcombers. It first aired in 1972. Now, we have lost some of the stars since the show went on air, but Pat John, who played Jesse, died this year at the age of 69. So we'll take you now into our archives to show you the tears and joys before it all ended.
We gave them a run for their money, didn't we?
There was a double meaning in those final lines of one of the longest-running shows in television. And it certainly was not lost on an emotional crew during the last few moments of Beachcomber history. Those hugs and kisses represent years of friendship and work, the impact of which has been felt around the world. Beachcombers has been shown in over 40 countries.
¿Quién estará metiendo mano a los camiones?
El operador de la grúa nos mataría a todos jugando.
But for all its laurels, the show had a somewhat shaky and modest beginning. A beginning which producer Derek Gardner will never forget.
And we felt like we were, pioneers, because nobody had ever had worked continually on the water like we had before. And a family feeling that was, I think there were probably times that I felt closer to the people that I was working with than I ever had with my family. There were no secrets. You knew, you knew everybody else, and you knew them right down to their soul. It's a very strong feeling.
Just take some pictures. Stop talking.
These days, cast and crew are still pretty tight. But the difference is, some crew members were literally babies when Beachcombers hit the airwaves. Others were young upstarts looking for a break.
It was funny, I was thinking last night as I drove up for my last night here, and I remembered the first night 16 years ago that the difference was that this time I drove up in a $50,000 sports car. Last year, 16 years ago, I came up in a $150,000 Greyhound bus.
Action. Beachcombers has certainly helped to create some stars, perhaps none more than Bruno Gerussi.
There are a few people with lumps in their throats. It's a sad moment, but...
How's your throat doing right now?
No, I'm all right. I'm tough.
How are you going to think about Beachcombers? How are you going to put that into perspective?
I'm not going to dwell on it. There'll be times sometimes. And maybe, come spring of next year when normally we start shooting, there might be like an old horse heading for the barn or heading for the fire truck or whatever. I might feel something, but it's just something you put in perspective, and there you are.
But for die-hard beach fan Phil Collin, it's hard to put the end into perspective. He flew out from Airdrie, Alberta, just to see the final episode being shot.
I'm very sad to see it go. I'm never going to follow another show like I followed this one, and to not see any more new ones after this, I think, is going to be very sad for me and Canadian people as a whole.
For many, the end is sad, to be sure. But at a spontaneous wrap party at Molly's Reach following the final scene, tears and champagne were interspersed with lots of laughter and some words of wisdom from Relic.
Don't look back, you look there. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
Cheers, Robert. All the best to you.
When we bring you these stories here at CBC Vancouver, we have award-winning photographers out capturing the images that say so much. Still images can add context and bring a lot more to the understanding of an event or an issue. So here are some of the latest images from what happened this past week. And that's all for our Vancouver for this week. I hope you can join me weekday afternoons on CBC Radio 1 for On the Coast. Goodbye for now.